Welcome to episode 32 of Win Me the Lottery, Chris.
Thank you very much, Tony. It's episode 32, and it's time for us to go for gold and win the lottery.
It certainly is. And talk about going for gold. I have really been enjoying the Olympics, Chris.
Yeah.
Have you been watching much of it?
I normally save myself for the Paralympics.
Okay.
No, I jest. I have watched quite a lot of it, actually, Tony. Yeah, it's always great. And it's just, you find yourself watching sports that you would never, ever watch, but getting quite into it. Like, the mountain biking, swimming, any of it. I do think the athletics is the best bet. I don't care what anybody else says. The athletics is the best bit.
I mean, it's the classic sport that you would watch when you associate with the Olympics, the 100-meter race.
It's just brilliant, and I can't believe when I'm watching it. It's like your eyes are everywhere, and it's such a short space that they cover. What is it? Less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But you can see the difference in speed and how some people start faster and end better. But the best ones are the relays, where they have to pass the baton. There's a bit of jeopardy in there.
Yeah, it adds a bit of drama, I think, when they don't do the handoff properly.
Like the Americans, 4x1, isn't it? The men.
Yeah.
They just haven't won it since 2000, the Americans, even though they've almost always had the fastest team because they've messed up the handover.
It's, you know what I really enjoyed, and it's not a sport that I watch regularly because I don't think it's even televised that much, but it's not ice hockey, it's like normal hockey.
Yeah, whenever the Olympics, that's actually probably the best example. I would never watch that.
Yeah.
But every time the Olympics is on, I'll sit there and watch the hockey.
It's quite good because at school I would...
Oh, you played it?
I played it. And I would never say I'm good at football or anything, but I was okay at hockey. Yeah, apparently to my PE teacher.
I found it. So we used to play as well, and I didn't like hockey at all because I thought it's quite aggressive.
Yeah, with the sticks.
With the stick, you can get absolutely whacked. So yeah, I much prefer football.
And the ball's no joke. If you get hit with that ball, and there was some controversy. Wasn't it the women's Chinese, she smacked at, I think it's the Belgian player, and the whistle kind of blew. And then she kind of already hit the ball, and then someone said it was intentional and it was kind of kicking off. I was hoping it would kick off more, and I was like, what's going to happen here? A bunch of ladies kind of jumping on at each other with some sticks. But the interesting fact I learned from watching the hockey, and this is India versus... Oh no, I spoiled it now, but it was India versus England, or Great Britain.
I saw that game where the keeper was like,
He was on fire. Apparently, the best hockey goalie is Indian. The best hockey goalie in the world is Indian. I never knew that.
I didn't know that, and I thought the way he conducted himself was a disgrace because I was watching that match and he was shouting, bellowing in the faces
Really?
of the British player. No, I didn't like it. It was unedifying, Tony.
I just thought, look, let's see the comparisons of like football and hockey, and I find it really surprising because I totally forgot that their penalty is almost a one-on-one basically. It's not like from the spot.
And you It's like you have the run up, and you have a set time.
Do you see how rash the British were? They were just smacking it, and the Indians were just placing it.
At the time. I mean, that's a new low, really, isn't it? Have we ever lost to India?
I think they knocked us out the previous.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Can you imagine in football being humbled by India? I've never even seen India. Mind you, cricket, they're damn good, aren't they?
Yeah.
I take it all back. I apologise.
Cricket, they're good. Anything with a stick, it seems like.
Yeah.
But I would say that, again, this still is something that I find quite interesting. And I would actually connect this with China as well. It's like, how can a country with such a large population...
Be so rubbish.
Not have... Well, basically, be so rubbish at football, even though it's a sport... I don't know if they're investing enough in it, but...
Well, China clearly are investing a lot into the Olympics because they're doing really well and they're quite targeted in the things they do well at, like gymnastics, swimming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they've got to do more. But back on hockey, I think the reason it is sort of you can get away with it is it's basically football but with a stick. It is really. You're just aiming at a goal. So but it's just so much more boring because I was getting into it for a while. I was like, it's like football, but it's just so slow and there's so much less you can do.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, I know you.
No, I'm just saying that I was getting back, my back was aching just watching it because you just got to hunch over and, I don't know if you can play that.
As a sort of past professional, you really were.
I mean, I'm not
more in
like,
tune with
I
it.
was okay. I mean, compared to other sports, you know, I was terrible at other sports, you know. But yeah, hockey always has this kind of soft spot in my memories. Talk about some other things. I mean, who doesn't like badminton? Badminton is when you actually.
Me, I don't know badminton.
I saw one with a rally that was like 83
shots.
83
Oh
shots
my
back
God.
and forth. That was insane. Some other controversy I saw was that the screaming fencer. Did you see that?
I don't know that one.
Apparently, the ref did one of the. I guess the decision didn't go his way, and he just went off on. He was just screaming at the crowd.
Oh, I need to watch that one.
He was going nuts, and this is almost kind of reminded me of the Japanese judo lady. So she's won gold for like the past few Olympics. Judo runs through her family. I think her brother's gold medalist. I think her father. You know, it all runs through family, and then she finally got beaten. And if you didn't know the context of it all, she started actually just like bawling and like almost looking like she's having a hissy fit, like just falling on the arms of one of her kind of coaches. And you're like, what a bad loser.
Yeah. Was it in the final? Or was
It was the final, yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's basically won every match ever.
Yeah, and then she's kind of, I guess she's disappointed.
And I bet it was going to be a new record.
Yeah, it probably would have
Because
been.
there's a Cuban guy who's won 4 in a row.
Yeah, did he retire?
Or is it even more than that?
Yeah.
I think he's retired. So it's Beijing. So it's Beijing, London, Rio, Tokyo, Paris. It's 5 in a row, which is remarkable.
Some people can't even get one. It's a bit greedy.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
And obviously our favourite, what's the last one? That's everyone's. I mean, I see it on LinkedIn.
Well, the Turkish shooter, and that has gone into. Well, there are a couple of that have gone into memes. The Turkish shooter basically wore no equipment.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, right, I'm just going to get on with it. And then you see these other competitors who've got their ear things on and all the rest of it. What do you think, Tony? I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Just go out and do it. No BS.
I think people were saying, based on this photos, that there's some swagger about him just kind of getting the gun. But also, I think people were saying, like, you're overlooking the grey hairs. I mean, this man has experience. He's been doing this for years. And you've got, like, maybe... I think, well, obviously, it's the Korean one. She looked quite a fashionable person. People say, oh, look at her. You know, she looks very fashionable. I want to dress like her and that type of stuff. And one guy looked like like a manga character. He was kind of bent in a weird way, and he had like blue hair or something. But
he just looked like a legend, cool guy.
Yeah, he's just effortlessly cool.
Effortlessly cool. What do you think about the Australian break dancer? Because she's been going viral as well. I want to know what the actual story is of that. Is she a professional or is
Well, I think context. I think context is important. I don't think she is at the elite level, but it goes to show, is that the highest level that Australia has to give, which is kind of surprising.
The thing is, maybe it was an idea of like, it's hard, right? The Olympics.
Yeah.
You think about it. Maybe they were like, let's just chuck an ordinary person in to a random sport just to show how difficult it is. Because I couldn't believe it. I think I saw 10,000 metres, that's 10K.
Yeah.
12 minutes is the world's record, Olympic record, 12 minutes.
Okay.
For 10K. So that's something where, you'd do it in like 25 minutes. You're pretty happy.
I did 5K in like 28 minutes or 25. 5K, half of that.
Yeah.
So they're doing 10K in...
They're doing 10K in 12 minutes.
And I can only do 5K in like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That just shows the levels.
Oh, maybe it was 5K. I apologise.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking about 5K.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm getting too
But
carried
still,
away. Yeah, sorry, 5K.
They almost did it in half my time.
minutes.
They did it less than half my time.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
No, so yeah, that's what I mean. 5K, you'd think maybe 20, 25 minutes is amazing. And doing it in 12 minutes. But there was a survey where a lot of people in the UK were saying, I reckon I could qualify for the next Olympics if I start training now.
Well, you've got to have dreams and then, turn them into goals and aim for it. But as you put about the Australian breakdance, I'm just thinking, like, if anyone gives them crap, goes, well, did you make it to the Olympics?
Yep.
They've achieved something that I've never achieved.
2 weeks all expenses paid trip to Paris.
Yeah.
Appear in the Olympics.
Yeah.
She stepped out into the arena. She's given it her all.
Yeah.
But the other one I saw, just mentioned, was Taekwondo. I didn't realise that the referees are quite strict when it comes to Taekwondo. So I actually saw this clip where somebody got hit and they were down on the floor and it looked like they were literally close to death, and the ref is just counting them out while the medical staff are trying to revive this person.
Oh, he was like fight to the death type of thing.
We look like it, Tony. So.
You should join the UFC.
Yeah.
I would say, obviously, our topic of the week later, we're really going to get into like some of the interesting kind of highlights of the Olympics as well, in terms of like medals and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was great. I mean, I've never been to Paris, and it would have been a great opportunity.
City of Love.
Yeah.
Tony, I think you've got to go. The only issue is they don't actually have Café Rouge there.
Oh, dearing me.
Which I know is one. Okay, here's a question. Café Rouge, Côte, or Brasserie Zedel, put them in order of your best to worst.
Café Rouge, number 1. Côte, number 2. Brasserie Zedel, number 3. And the thing is, I was severely disappointed with the food that came out of Brasserie Zedel.
Really?
I love the location because it's in Piccadilly. Yeah. And you go downstairs, it's like the Art Deco dining hall.
But the food just not cutting it compared to Côte or Café Rouge.
No. I haven't been to Café Rouge for a while. I know they closed down quite a few locations, but the one in St. Paul's is still open.
I think there's a reason they've shut so many down.
The tourist trade. Right, okay, if we move on to our second one, last Saturday's lotto result. So, what was the jackpot?
Tony, I'm just praying we finally won it because it's just dragging on.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's find out. I mean, it was only 4 million. I don't know, we'll still be working, I guess. What were the winning numbers? So, it's 2, 25, 40, 42, 48, 59, bonus ball 12. Machine name was Arthur. Ball set 8. So what were our numbers? So it was 1, 6, 10, 16, 29, and 35. So it looks like we didn't match any numbers, Chris.
I don't know what to say, Tony. I don't know what...
Just repeat what you said last week, Chris.
Something good's around the corner. Is that what I said?
Yeah, I think you did. I'm just going to say that maybe I need to go to church or something.
Yes.
We haven't.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
We need to implement prayer.
I haven't been to church for many, many years. I wouldn't count myself as a religious man or a man of God. Mm-hmm. But I do, I've mentioned this before, I live fairly near the XL Centre, and recently they keep putting on like Christian events.
Okay.
And they'll be wearing these things, God loves you, and stuff like that. Mm. And maybe I just need to go to one of those and take it and just pray. Just say, look, we've been doing this. We're putting hours in. We're buying so many tickets. I think last week, Tony, with the numbers that we'd picked, you bought 40 tickets, didn't you?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and we still didn't win a match single number. So,
I think that's not a bad shout. I think we need more love from God.
Well, no, but remember, the other thing is, if we buy, I think it was 52, we're guaranteed to win something.
Well, lucky dip.
Yeah. Remember, remember the math, the mathematics.
The maths.
It could be a lucky dip, but it could be the jackpot.
I think Christianity is an interesting angle here, Chris.
What about other religions? They are available. We've got to make sure there's a...
Oh, yeah, of course. Or other religions as well. But I think I saw a sign the other day, and one of our old colleagues, and I want to give a shout out to Jesus Pulse.
Yeah.
And one of our friends out, like... It was a sign for me that I need to relook at this. I haven't had Jesus in my life for a while.
Are we allowed to mention him on this show? Because I want to give a shout out to him.
I think so. I mean,
you said it's called the Jesus Pulse. Now listen, it's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm not really a man of God. I'm not a believer. But this this Instagram channel that he's put out is brilliant for many reasons. Not necessarily the reasons that they would want the channel would want it to be.
It's inspiring.
I love you.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
So check it out, Jesus Pulse on Instagram.
Food for thought, definitely.
Food for thought. And let's get him on the pod. I haven't seen him in a while.
Our luck could change.
So you said he was our old colleague. He used to be basically the first intern who worked on this pod. And he's now got more followers than we have, probably.
We can learn, it's funny how the tables are turned. We can learn a lot.
How the turntables, as Michael Scott once said.
But what listeners have been in touch this week, Chris?
Lots of them, Tony, as always. In fact, you might remember that outage a couple of weeks ago that everybody thought was some kind of data breach. It was actually all the messages pinging into our inbox that would shut everything down. But anyway, so MewW3M has got in touch. So, Tony's already said today that his favourite French restaurant in Britain is Café Rouge.
Yeah.
His favourite Italian restaurant in Britain is Pizza Hut, or indeed the world. So there's a video out there where Tony is genuinely saying...
Can I correct?
Yes.
I said it was Prezzo.
Right.
Pizza Hut is my favourite pizza.
Okay. So pizza is the best pizza in the world, according to Tony. Better than Zia Lucia, which is my favourite one in London. I'm not saying the world. Mew just got in touch and said, look, please, I beg you, have you tried Italy London? We actually, we've been there. I
haven't tried the pizza. I think that's what he was he or she
was getting at the pizza. Okay. Neither have I, actually.
I tried the coffee there. They have, is it Illy coffee, which is quite good.
Yeah,
you don't like it?
No, I'm not saying I don't like it, but I remember seeing that. Now, Italy, London is damn expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what sort of puts me off having the pizza, because I think it's telephone numbers to get pizza.
Yeah.
But that really surprised me, because I was like, oh, hang on, you're saying you're the best food and drink Italian food and drink in London, and you're serving Illy coffee? Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm expecting artisan... You know what I mean?
But
mind you, you would like it because you like Café Rouge and Pizza Hut.
Well, there you go. Maybe they're going for mass market.
Well, exactly.
Well, Illy, I don't know. Feel free to comment. Is Illy a massive coffee brand?
I think it's really.
In Italy.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But Illy's kind of like you just see it anywhere.
No, not... Well, I don't
really.
See...
a bit more premium.
What's the other one that is Lavazza?
Lavazza. Is that the more...
that's proper. I think that's rubbish. What do you think?
I think they're both rubbish. But maybe it's just me. I would only... So here's my view on coffee, okay? I don't want to sound whatever. I'm only going to buy a coffee out if it's better than the one I make myself on my machine.
Is your bean to cup or your...
It's a bean to cup. It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Go on.
But I'll just buy beans from M&S and it's just bean to cup. And my God, if I go to any chain coffee place, it's worse than the one in my machine. So why am I going to pay £4?
Well, I was talking to a guy that said they don't clean the coffee machine. That's why it's so bad.
Well, that could easily be. And, that's why I'll go to certain local independent ones where actually it's really good. But... I'm not going to go and pay from a chain place like Costa, Cafe Nero.
I'm a Starbucks guy.
Oh.
So, tell me a coffee place that does better iced coffee beverages than Starbucks.
Near our studio, there is an amazing place in a church, in an old church.
That do iced coffee?
Iced latte.
Okay.
So I'll take you there.
Can it be the... oat shaken espresso creme brulee drink?
How many teaspoons of sugar in that one?
Too many to count.
40.
But talk about coffee. McDonald's do good coffee.
I can't
try
agree.
it.
Yeah, I have tried it because whenever I go with my dad, he normally, if we're driving up to visit my grandma or whatever, he'll stop at a McDonald's to get his 90p coffee, and I'm like, well, it's just, to be honest, at that stage, if I'm going to go to any chain for a coffee, you might as well just go to McDonald's or Greg's, where it's like 90p, rather than paying £4 for something that's equally as bad.
Funny you said that. You know, Pret a Manger.
Yeah,
I've gone there like 5 times, and I went there over the weekend. I say I want to get the filter coffee for 99p. Always runs out, and you know what they do? Oh, you can have the Americano, and they still, which is like £3. They charge me 99.
That's happened to me.
I'm like, no, I want the filter, but it's fine. So this morning, I actually went for the Pret 99 filter. You got to get it in the morning if you want it. So
okay.
It's actually pretty good.
I think that, for the price, that really is worth it, and that's the only thing. But Pret, we did hear this story, didn't we, from a friend of ours who worked in Pret, and they just said, they say freshly prepared sandwiches every morning, right? So I used to love that tuna baguette with the cucumber. You know what they mean by freshly prepared? open the freezer, get out your big thing of tuna mayo.
Yeah, that's prepared though.
That's
you
not
want them to-
fresh. I want it freshly prepared, like a deli.
But
I don't know, maybe I was stupid. Maybe I was naive, Tony. But I thought they're getting in super early and they're preparing my sandwich fresh.
what do you say? Do you want them to get the fresh tuna?
I want them to catch the
chop up
tuna, bring it along, chop it up,
make their own
mash
mayo,
it, yeah,
with like whisk the eggs.
Yeah.
No, fair point. No, I think I knew someone that worked in prep before, and they got to have the bulk stuff, but it's. Are you saying that because they open up a bucket of tuna that it's not
just
fresh?
not what I expected. Tony.
Okay,
But,
that's a fair point.
but you're right. I mean, with tuna, like, what's the alternative? Open up a can of Prince's tuna and then squeeze in the Hellman's mayo.
You're a Prince's guy. And what's the other? John West.
No, I just do Sainsbury's Own, I think.
Wait. You're spring water or sunflower oil?
Spring water, of course.
Is that healthier?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, sorry, I apologise. So lots of people on TikTok got in touch. That's why we got to come back in this week just to reply to all these messages, Tony.
Yeah.
Thousands on TikTok. Lots of DMs about Etsy banning sex toys. That's
a big
just
one.
Blown up. I like the person who just tagged a friend and just put like the eyes emoji or something like that.
Get the word out. They need to get their sex toys elsewhere.
And then we had this one, which is brilliant. So email in. I'm just not going to mention their name again. It's anonymous. Said, hey, Chris and Tony, big fan of the pod. Please read this one out. Well, we're doing it for you. I've been waiting to buy a Gucci for myself for years and have been saving up. My husband knew about this, and one day he surprised me with my dream Gucci bag. Soon after, I started to have my suspicions that it's a fake because the handles are a bit flimsy.
Oh.
I went to a Gucci store to have the bag. How embarrassing is this? I went to a Gucci store to have the bag checked. And there it was confirmed within half a minute that it's indeed a fake.
Oh.
So I don't feel comfortable wearing it. Do I tell my husband or do I just go ahead and buy a real one to replace it? Even though I haven't fully saved up for it yet. Well, it's not cheap, is it? A Gucci bag.
Well, I can't get. So she got a fake Gucci bag from
her husband. So she's wanted a Gucci for years. He suddenly just surprises her, says, "Oh look, I finally got you."
And you paid full whack for it.
No, he got a fake. No, he obviously knew he got a fake. She's just saying here. So
he's deceived his own wife.
he's deceived his own wife. Now listen, maybe they can't rub two pennies together.
Yeah.
Maybe they're struggling, cost of living.
Yeah.
And so he just thought, I want to make her happy.
Yeah.
She's been talking about this for years. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think for the sake of the relationship, and I think she has to be humble here, that he may not have the financial resources to buy her a real Gucci bag, but he wants to make her happy. Therefore, he's like, oh, let me just do a little white lie. I'll get her a Gucci bag. She won't know. So I think her best next step is just to be very thankful to him and then start saying, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. And go, that's low-key fire, bro. I think that's what she should do. What do you think, Chris?
I think 100%. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. She should be thankful. He's gonna listen. Okay, forget it. Forget about the money. Whatever. Okay, you haven't told us what your sort of wealth situation is, because if you're like billionaires and you say, I'd be a bit disappointed. He's listened to you.
Yeah.
You've said your dream is to get a Gucci bag, and he's like, well, what can I do to make this a reality? Maybe he hasn't got a couple of pennies to rub together, and he's like, the only way I can really do this is to get down the market and just grab one, or who knows? Maybe he went to Camden. Maybe he went abroad to get this.
She can quote me verbatim. She goes to her husband. She goes, my love, thank you for now enabling me to join the Gucci gang. That's fire, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, just say it direct.
Yeah. Do you know what the Gucci gang is?
No.
Okay. I don't know who the artist is, but it's like trap music. I believe it's trap, or what's the other version of it? It's.
So what's the context of it?
So who's the artist? I'm sure our listeners would know. It depends what character. So Gucci gang artist. It's Lil Pump. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, go on.
Hear a bit.
That's it. How many times did he say it?
It's pretty much the whole song. We've got. Of course, this is relevant lottery ad.
From the National Lottery. Best gift ever.
We're just teasing this just to see, do you want to sponsor this pod or not?
Can't listen to this.
So here we go. This is Gucci again.
I love the lyrics in this. It gets pretty deep. There's layers to the song. 1.1 billion people can't be wrong, Chris.
No.
So this is how many people want to be in the gang.
And this is why we know that Cafe Rouge is amazing.
He's got red dreads, so.
And a bit of green in there as well.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, I think that's what your advice is essentially, just to go Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
She's part of the club.
Yeah.
I think let's not spoil the dream here. If she goes, so what's the upside here? She goes, you got me a fake bag, therefore we should break up, divorce. What?
It's one of those things, isn't it? Clearly, she's wanted a Gucci for years, and she wants the real one. Can it be almost a bit embarrassing if your friends realise you've got a fake? And you've been going, I bet she went to her friend. She was like, "Look what he's done for me. This is amazing. I've got my dream Gucci bag." And then they're sort of looking at it. I bet they're talking behind their back. I'm sorry to say this.
Yeah.
I bet they're talking behind their back, and they're like, "Oh, how embarrassing is that? Have you seen the handles? They're falling apart. That's not real. Have you smelt? It's not even real leather. You know what I mean? So maybe divorce is really the best option here. I don't know, Tony.
Divorce or get new friends is the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah? No, I'd probably go divorce.
Divorce, yeah. At least she'll get more money that way anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Actually, he doesn't have any. That's why he got a fake Gucci bag.
Yeah. And of course, we've covered this before. Had they won the lottery, you wouldn't be entitled to unless they've invested in something. But with the winnings.
At the end of the day, it's just a bag. If it holds you a few things in there you need.
Yeah.
It's real. If you believe it's real, which
manifest it.
Manifest it.
It hasn't worked for us. It's been a year, but it might work for you.
What she needs to do is just suck it up and either buy some lottery tickets or work hard, get paid more, and buy herself her own Gucci bag and go to her husband, "Look, I know you got me a fake one. Yep. I've got the money and I bought a real one." But
that's what she was saying at the end.
Oh, right.
But, we need to get... should I just go ahead and buy one? We need to know how much money have you got saved up. These things aren't cheap, are they, Tony?
We need to know. There's an important variable here, is do they have children is another thing. You don't want to be spending money that you could go to the kids.
But the kids will inherit the Gucci bag.
And who doesn't want their mum to be part of the Gucci gang, right?
And exactly. I mean, this is the key point. What's better for the kids? Being fed 3 times a day or the status of their mum?
I mean, if they find out in school that their mum's got a fake Gucci bag, I mean, it could get...
dramatic consequences.
It could get really bad.
Oh, Tony. Okay, should we move on? Because
I sorry
take
about
this
this
anymore.
one, yeah.
Let's go. Topic of the week, which this week is the Olympics, of course, Tony.
So obviously, Olympics is all about taking part. Was it patronism? No, I say patronising, but like feeling patriotic, representing your country.
Patriotism.
Patriotism. That's the words. And the people, the athletes that had the opportunity to represent their country. I mean, what an honour! And they had a bit of fun in the dorms as well, don't they?
Oh, I bet they do.
Apparently, they have a little. They got the special condoms that because it's very active there.
Oh right. Well, I guess.
You got young, fit people who are away from
the fittest people in the world. They're probably young. They're all single. Why not?
Lots of energy. Who knows what happens? But of course, there's an element that you can't deny, and that is a competition of it. Who's the best?
And this is why, we talk about this medal table. I tell you one thing. Why are we counting it by golds? We should be counting it by total medals.
Which you can do.
Can we just change it?
That is the total.
No, but it's ordered by the number of golds.
Oh, right.
So this is the thing. So I only say that because this year Great Britain would be 3rd if it was total medals, but we ended up 7th. And I must admit, the last few days that I was watching it, every time I saw Great Britain, it was like silver, bronze. We don't need this. We're buying the Netherlands, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, we've got it, comparing the Olympic medal tally. I mean, it's quite obvious who was going to come top. Did you know? I actually thought it might be China, but the United States.
Yeah, the US tend to do it, unless I'm mistaken, but they were behind.
Yeah.
Up until the last moment. I didn't even know they'd drawn level there on golds.
That is quite good, considering how... Okay, it's not controversial, but people do compare, like, countries that are more homogenous to, like, United States is pretty much all the races in there. So you got the Asian people winning, like, the table, you know, the certain sports that you would, you know.
You're allowed to say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like if we saw, like...
basketball.
Who won the basketball?
I presume.
Yeah, that's
their thing. Yeah, it's just like, the thing about the US, they shouldn't allow that in.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have any of those American sports in. And to be honest, we need a root and branch reform of the Olympics because there's way too much gymnastics in there, Tony. How many swimming events? Imagine if we replicated swimming for running and we're like, oh, but we got different styles of running. Come on, get rid of it.
We should have running backwards.
Butterfly. Yeah, running backwards.
Why got backstroke?
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, if we go for the I mean, let's just rattle through this. I mean, let's just go top three. I mean, it was like United States came first. Let's just start with the gold because I love gold, right?
40.
So it's 40. People's Republic of China, they got 40 as well. Japan, 20. That's quite a small nation. Yeah.
But, you know, US won it by a count of 44 silvers compared to China 27 silvers, if you're wondering. And Australia did well this time.
Yeah.
I think Australia always do quite well.
I always forget about them.
And they always do really well in the swing. France, the host nation, I think that's a much better performance. But you do tend to find countries aim to invest a lot more in peak for their host nation. So, you know, Great Britain, for example, we had really good Olympics the last few.
Yeah.
There's almost like a knock-on effect of the one that we hosted 2012.
Yeah. What's this again?
I don't know. What
is that? What's his name?
Mo Salah. Mo Farah.
Mo Farah, sorry.
I'm getting ahead of myself for fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. That's only next week.
Korea are up there, you know. But if you go down, I think Netherlands...
Which Korea is this one?
North Korea.
Yeah, we all saw that was what you call it, a faux pas. Was it? Oh no, it's not a faux pas. It's just a general mistake.
And a couple of goals. So Netherlands got 15 golds.
Yeah.
Which, you know, small population there. I'd probably go down to Uzbekistan here. 5 in boxing, 1 in judo, 1 in taekwondo, 1 in wrestling. 8 golds. 13th. Hungary. You know, Hungary got 6.
Let's scroll down who came last. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's probably going to be loads who got 0, right?
Zambia.
Yeah, but, you know, it's only displaying countries who've actually got 1 medal.
Oh.
I presume. I might be wrong.
Refugee Olympic team.
Yeah, there's a refugee.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I think there's probably other countries that didn't get a single medal, Tony, here below that.
Where? I'm just going to look at for Jordan. Fiji. Kyrgyzstan. Okay, I mean, there's some very interesting stuff. I mean, we can move on to some.
Tony, there's some that are just out underperforming. You know, Switzerland down there only got 1. You know, Spain.
Wow.
You can tell some countries prefer football. So Spain, you might have done us in the Euros the other week, but where are you for the Olympics?
Yeah,
you lazy sod. Stop having that siesta.
They're just focusing on efforts on the football. But yeah, I think I might as well touch on this now, but I was very my heart warmed when I heard about the story about the Philippines' first male Olympic gold medalist. In their history, he was given a fully furnished condo, which is worth about $555,000.
Nice.
So what an achievement there! Like to win that first gold, and they're like, you know what, you can have a home.
And you know what? And you've got to hand it to them. You know, if you come from a place where it probably, you know, there's less opportunity, right, to be doing sport in the Philippines. And it's warm as well. It's very hot.
And also I was looking at, like, what do they do? I mean, how much do they actually get paid? But apparently a lot of these Olympians, they don't get paid That much. So do you? So I'm looking at people.com, obviously a great source for Olympic news. In short, athletes are not paid to compete. The International Olympic Committee explained in a statement why a for-profit business model was never a goal for the Games. So I'm trying to look here. How do they actually get support? So obviously we'll go on later about I believe the lottery, even in the UK, they kind of support the athletes, right?
Yeah,
with money.
Yeah.
And I believe you only get paid if you actually medal as well. So what do first place athletes win at the Olympics? So here we go. Athletes are awarded a gold medal for winning the first place in the Olympics. So that goes back since 1904. I'm trying to look at how much is the... Oh, wait. How much is the Olympic gold medal worth? What would you say, Chris?
What, in terms of the materials within it? Because I bet, you have a market value if you're going to sell them. Well, what I do know, Tony, because I'm going to come onto this fact later. In fact, you've ruined it. No, don't worry. It's actually better to say it now. Is that it's not fully gold.
Yes.
It's not fully gold because I researched this. So I was going to put this. So that brings it down a lot. But I think I remember. Yeah, actually, it says here. Okay, 95%. More than 95% of the medal is actually silver. So that brings it down. I'm going to say £1,000 for an Olympic medal.
Pretty much. Well, it's
a gold medal, right? Yeah.
$950.
Based on the spot price of gold, silver, and iron. There's also iron in it.
And I think
how much do they get paid?
Yeah, I didn't. Hold on.
Oh, here you go. So actually, the US athletes will earn $37,500 for every gold. 22,500 for every silver, 15,000 for every bronze. But actually, there are other countries that pay more. So Serbia paid $215,000.
Australia at the bottom.
Yeah,
$13,000.
It is interesting because even some of the British athletes were saying they've got a day job. So I've got a great story later on about someone who's got a day job. So I'm sure if you are an athlete in a popular sport, you're going to get paid, and possibly Olympics is more like the prestige.
Yeah.
So you go back into your day job. But yeah, in certain other ones, I mean, boxing, you have to be amateur, right, to compete in the Olympics. So there was, what was his name? Was it Amir Khan? Yeah. Who won gold or whatever he won, maybe bronze, silver.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then obviously he's like, well, I'm going pro now. So I'm going to be out of the Olympics.
Yeah, I just feel sorry. I know a lot of Olympic athletes in America. The wrestling they're quite big on. They tend to go into like mixed martial arts afterwards, like UFC and stuff like that, because that's always good base.
Your favourite?
Yeah, but I think
bring UFC into the Olympics. Come on.
MMA. Is it not in the Olympics? I don't think it is it?
I don't know. I think obviously they've got bits and pieces. Yeah. And actually, I did see one of the sports that was on yesterday morning when I got up is weightlifting.
Oh, that's good.
And I tell you what, I don't want to be mean here or whatever, but it's like some of them are so big, and you're like, imagine you had a kid. Okay, maybe they overeat a little bit. They're getting a bit of weight.
Yeah.
So, well, listen, don't stop. We're going to get you down the gym now. Because clearly you have to be huge. Well, keep eating, load up. It's they're not just fat.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that mass. Let's just put it that. What do you think?
What? So you want to encourage? It's almost like become a sumo wrestler or like a shop wrestler.
Yeah. You're quite big boned.
Yeah.
Maybe as your parent, it was my fault. I gave you too much crisps, whatever it is.
Yeah. Sorry, my genes.
Let's turn this into an opportunity.
Yeah, shot put,
hammer.
Weightlifting.
Yeah, weightlifting was the biggest one. Yeah. I mean, some of these weightlifters were gigantic, Tony.
No, that's incredible. Yeah, I feel like it's so good that you can actually represent your country and you reach a certain level where you go, I'm the best in the world at this. But I also have it in the back of my mind, what if you get an injury and then you're like, well, I can't compete anymore. I can't do anything. I have to go back to whatever the day job is. But you got to kind of reach for your dreams and just push your potential as far as it can go.
You have to, Tony, and that's what's inspiring about
it.
So just a couple of notes from me on this. So I've got to say this, which you just touched on earlier. The National Lottery, I bet our listeners were thinking every single time, you'd hear the interview and it's like, I want to thank the National Lottery. The athletes were saying this, and our listeners were probably like, there you go, my favourite podcast. It's bringing it all back. But yeah, so for the Tokyo Games, I've got the stats. £345 million of funding was raised for British Olympians for Tokyo Games, and that was about 63% of the total funding for UK sport.
Wow.
It was in it. So we have to give a bit of a round of applause for the National Lottery, really helping there. And I just
we're helping.
That's the thing, because we're buying our tickets. Okay, you think, I've wasted it.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it goes to charitable causes. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Now, of course, some of it goes back to Allwyn, the operators, to line the fat cat's pockets.
Yeah.
But we can cover that up. We keep saying, Allwyn, if you want to work with us on this podcast, we will cover up anything you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it does go to charitable causes, and we are helping. And let's not just say you can look at it as Olympics. Well, that's just for the elite. People come from a diverse range of backgrounds, Tony, and that money is going into sport.
Yeah.
Not just the Olympians. And you can come from anywhere and you can make it to the Olympics. Case in point.
I want my money to ensure that they get the best condoms for that Olympic Village, and they're safe.
I tell you what. Yeah. It must be absolute carnage in that Olympic Village. You're absolutely. I never really thought about it before. It's like, imagine you finish your event 2 days in. What am I going to do now? You've got thousands of other athletes around. It's like using one of those premium dating. What's it called? The League or whatever. What's that one that's the billionaires?
Well, it's wait, tell me. It's like when they meet the sugar daddy with the sugar baby. Is that the one you're talking about?
No. We were talking about it on the pod before. There's a billionaires or celebrity dating app.
Oh, right, yeah.
But this is even better because it's like, right, that you're both Olympians.
What's your personal best that you can set? So, how much can you lift?
Exactly. So yeah, you're right. Maybe that's what, some of the guys who or women who just win multiple golds, maybe that's what's fueling them.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an experience of a lifetime.
Night, yeah.
Did you see that guy? Was it the pole vault guy who got his junk?
His junk.
Apparently, a porn site wanted to spot, give him money to do a video or something.
Yeah, why not, Tony?
I think it was like over 6 figures.
Yeah, what the junk or the offer?
Both.
But yeah, just rattle through a few more Olympic. So we already said mostly made of silver. The gold medal, that's a bit of a sham. Listen to this, Tony. The 1908 London Olympics holds the records for the longest games in modern history, lasting 187 days. They were originally scheduled to be held in Rome, but they were relocated to London due to the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 1906.
Wow.
Not the first time that Vesuvius erupted, of course. But so 187 days. It's 14 days now. That's half a year. You're absolutely right. Another one, I thought this was interesting. I'm sure you've heard of the Olympic truce. So in the ancient Olympic Games, a truce was declared, allowing athletes and spectators to travel safely to and from the Games, even through war zones. And it was started in 776 and was renewed by the IOC in 1992, and then the UN caught on in 1993. Say, right, well, the Olympics are in, it's a truce. And this was originally called, I don't want to butcher this, the Ekateria, or Ekateria. But sadly, Tony, this has been violated in recent times. I'm sure you've seen some of the recent news in the Middle East and in Russia.
Was that hostages
Ukraine, I should say.
Yeah. But, how awkward would that be? Imagine you're at war and then suddenly you're sharing the podium on, those fans.
Well, yeah.
That is bizarre. Well, hey, sportsmanship, as they say. Yeah. Sportsmanship.
Yeah. And I've got one more, an Olympics riddle. Now, see if you can get this one right. And I just came up with this myself because I saw it yesterday. Which country had an athlete competing with the name of the country's national dish? So their surname was the name of the country's national dish. And I'll give you one clue. It's not fish and chips.
So their surname
is you can either say the surname or just the country. Yeah, again, have a guess. So try and get them both. I'll give you 3 guesses. And everybody, play along. Which country had an athlete competing? And by the way, this person won gold as well. with the name of the country's national dish. So what could it be? You know, you'd be
It's like, what continent is this? Come on.
Okay, it's Europe. But it could be any, you know, you could
So-
say pho. You could say Vietnam, pho.
So it's it's a surname and name of their national dish.
Are the same thing. So if it were British, you would say fish and chips.
Okay.
Or like, you know, you could have gone...
Curry.
No, you could have gone US burger. You know what I mean? That's a possible one. You probably won't get it. It resonated with me.
Okay, is it a common food dish? I would know this.
You would know this dish, but it's probably not one that's been... No.
Spaghetti.
No, it's not Italian.
Dumplings.
No.
Sandwich, bread, burger, chips, chicken, fried chicken. But no, I'm going to get this. I'm trying to rattle through all the foods.
But it's go for the country. Try and get the country, and then
France,
no,
Germany.
It's close to me because of my missus.
Oh,
that's right.
Croatia. No,
next to Croatia.
Romania.
Next to Romania as well.
Oh, I'm going to get this. It is Bulgaria.
No.
Oh, okay, I give up.
Hungary.
Oh,
Okay, and what's the national dish? Goulash. Goulash.
Is that
That's
the national dish?
And
Is goulash Russian or Hungarian?
No, it's Hungarian. It's Hungarian.
Fair enough.
And I just saw this yesterday. I was like, oh, quick, look. Goulash, as it's pronounced, was winning the modern, I think it was the modern pentathlon or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And I was
I do like a good goulash. I haven't had goulash for years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where's a good place
as
for
well. I don't know in London.
Okay.
Need to get back
Got to
to
go
it
to
next week. You got to go to
Hungary.
Budapest, one of the greatest cities around.
Right. If we move on to segment 3, picking next week's numbers. Shall I start? And it's obviously Olympic related.
Please do, Tony.
So, Egyptian fencer Nada Hafez. You're not going to believe this. I don't know if this is responsible, and I might cast judgment here.
Is this correct?
She was 7 months pregnant while competing in her third
Did she
Olympics.
know? Was it one of those where somehow she didn't know?
7 months.
Yeah, somehow she just... It was a
Let's have a
miracle
look at
she
this.
didn't know. You'd hope so.
Actually, where is the... Okay, wait. Maybe I got the wrong link here.
Well, look, Tony, you can't try and hide this. You can't try and hide the truth from us.
Oh,
There
here
you
we
go.
go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Egyptian fencer is 7 months pregnant while competing in her third. So on Instagram, she said, "What appears to you as 2 players on the podium, they were actually 3. It was me, my competitor, and my yet to come to a world little baby."
And it's fencing. You know, that baby could have been prodded dead.
Could have been stabbed. I don't know. No, it's probably... Well, it could have been injured.
Is this wrong or is this right, Tony?
My baby and I had our fair share of challenges, be it both physical and emotional. She had to train for this stuff.
Yeah.
The rollercoaster of pregnancy is tough on its own, but having to fight to keep the balance, I mean, this is not responsible. I mean, she could have fell over. She could have tripped on a mat or something. The stress is not good, you know. But yeah, so...
I guess you get one shot, maybe, Tony, to compete in the Olympics.
But are you going to be top of your game with 7 months pregnant?
No.
Well, that's my number there, 7.
Disgusting.
Here's another one.
No, disgusting.
Well, I'm not judging, but I am judging
Yeah.
at the same time. So this next one I had is an 11-year-old Chinese skateboarder, Zheng Haohao, is the youngest athlete at the Paris 2024 Olympics.
How did he manage that one?
As well as the China's youngest Olympian ever. Yeah, I thought there was an age. Well, apparently not.
How did he manage that?
Oh, I see what you... I saw that. I think it's a she, but I don't
sorry,
wanna,
she.
I don't want to...
Well,
Judge.
oh my God, and she really looks very young. Wait, hang on. So the oldest
65.
65. Yeah, and he made his Olympics debut 12 years before she was born. But that's not as good as a stat as it should be. Because if he's 65, he made his debut 23 years ago. It was 42.
Oh, yeah, he started late.
Yeah, but that's brilliant.
question,
No,
yeah.
that's brilliant. So hang on. What was her skateboarding?
Yeah,
yeah.
11.
Skateboarding is the one. So somebody did make the point of, should it really be an Olympic sport if people are at their peak in it? All the people in it are like kids. But even the British one was like 13 last time.
I know people are trashing how.
Yeah.
Why is it like skateboarding coming in now when I bet its high point was like in the early 2000s?
Yeah, Tony
Two
Hawk.
Hawks and that. But like, do people skateboard these days?
Hey,
I like
listen, if you go down to Waterloo, you know where that bit where you go down...
yeah, they've got the little pipes.
yeah,
You know what I do when I see skateboarders to make them feel a little bit more self-conscious? I know it's quite bad, but I don't do it often. But every time I see them go past, goes, he was a skater boy. She said, see you later, boy.
Great song.
Yeah, and I
Great
love that song,
Avril.
but people think it's like Les with Avril Lavigne, but...
Hey,
I think it's good.
you
Yeah.
take that back right away. It's a classic.
I mean, we all had a bit of a thing for Avril Lavigne.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, back in those sort of early noughties.
11 years old, I mean, I can't remember what I was doing, not completing Olympics. I would crumble. That'd be impressive.
Hey, Tony, if you'd have been allowed onto the Great British hockey team at the age of 11...
We might have actually won gold.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I do watch it every time, and we never actually win a medal, do we?
Maybe the
I don't wanna be
ladies. I don't think the
unfair.
women's, maybe. I think the women's is probably better than men's.
Maybe.
Cool, so that's number 11 because she was 11 years old. And I think I'm still staying within Asia, but this is not Olympic related. But something that is quite close to my heart is that the FIRE movement I talked about, financial independence, retire early. And this Japanese man really took this to heart. So
has he played the lottery?
no, he's just like trying to save every single penny.
Okay, so he's a saver. Okay.
Yeah, so Japanese man saves for early retirement by eating extremely simple meals for 21 years.
Okay, so how are we talking beans on toast sort of thing here? Or?
I mean, there's a picture here.
Okay.
Does that look depressing? Or...
So we got an omelette by the looks of it
Yeah.
with kind of like rice.
with seaweed.
Yeah, with little bits of seaweed.
plum.
And a single sour
plum.
plum. That's not going to fill me up, Tony. I'm sorry.
So he did this for 21 years, and this is kind of like he earned around 5 million yen, which is about $44,000 a year. And he crafted a detailed plan to save 100 million yen,
Which is $870,000.
That's
So it's
pretty
basically
good.
like he wanted to save that, and that's not easy. So he actually came up with a plan.
So he's very simple. I think Mills, I do spend a lot of money on food, to be honest. So
I do. But look, so he lived in a company dormitory, so he paid just $255 a month. And then he made very little food. I bet he never travelled.
No,
The question again is, Tony, is it worth it, though?
I think he's beginning to realise this now. Because look, he goes, he had to scour to use it. So he didn't use electricity because he used appliances there. Very frugal. So dinner was sour plum, some salted vegetables, a bowl of rice. But listen to this. He's finally reached retirement, that he said, but then the latest, and we know what happened, or you will know better than me, he finally becomes a millionaire after eating frugally for 21 years. However, what's happened recently in the markets...
Oh, no, Tony.
It's the yen.
No.
Unfortunately, the man's happiness was short-lived. He recently revealed that his savings has significantly diminished due to the yen's depreciation since the start of the year. So fair enough. I mean, he's earned a fair wedge that he's saved, and he's
he
probably
still
in a better
lives
place.
in Japan. You know, it's not as if he's having to exchange it. Let's just see. I mean, it does tell you, though, doesn't it? I mean, probably he's got it invested or something like that, Tony.
He might have gone, look,
exposed to
Japan's not the
currency
place.
risk.
Yeah.
Oh, it just tells you, doesn't it?
He would have looked into this. Could find me. It's like, you've got to have your investments here, diversify, S&P, whatever. But yeah.
Tony, I just...
You could do everything right and still get it wrong.
Yeah, you can't do right for doing wrong. But, this just tells you that don't plan too far ahead. Yeah. I don't think it's worth it to put yourself through pain. And then you just don't know what's round the corner.
Yeah.
You just don't know what's round the corner. Imagine tonight, I hate to say it again, if I'm a little bit unlucky tonight and I just slip when I get to the DLR platform, I'm dead. I'm a goner. And what was it all for? Well, I can sit here happy today and say I lived a life worth living.
You travelled. You had some good steak. You should get Wagyu steak You should get Wagyu steak now.
Yeah, I had some good times, and I'm going out in a blaze of glory. This guy, he's not even had a Wagyu steak. He's living in Japan. He's got access to some of the greatest food.
Get his own washing machine now.
That's disgusting. Tony, 3 numbers from my end. This was a shocking one. You see the high jump on Saturday night. So the high jump, the men's high jump. This really shocked me. Was there were 2 of them going for gold, right? Shelby McEwen from Team USA and his rivals Hamish Kerr from New Zealand. And neither of them cleared a certain height. So they both got to the next height, but they didn't clear it. And so, in fact, what I should say is McEwen failed to clear it on his 3rd attempt.
Okay.
The American.
Yeah.
And then this Hamish Kerr guy went to go for his jump. And he just kind of didn't even try. He just went for it and he flopped underneath. You might have even seen that video.
Oh, right. He just looks like he just jumped on it.
He gives up.
Yeah.
And I was actually with my dad watching it on Saturday. He was furious. He's like, this is a disgrace. What's he doing? And the point was, because they both failed to clear it, they could then choose to share the gold medal, because this happened last time. Yeah. They shared the gold medal. So he goes up to the American guy and he's like, right, we're going to share it, yeah? And that was obviously kind of like his peace offering, I guess, that he showed. He would share it. No. The American, my dad is saying, the American's seen your weakness, you idiot. You haven't even tried. And the American's like, no, I'm not going to share it. Anyway, then what happens is they start lowering the medal. The high thing. The pole. That's a bit weird. But anyway, so they start lowering it and they miss. Yeah. Both of them miss the height that they've already cleared. And then they load it again. Yeah. Anyway, McEwen fluffs it, the American guy who refused to share gold. And actually, in the end, Kerr gets it and he takes the gold. So it's quite bizarre. But I was watching, I was like, what difference does it really make? You're going down in the record books as having won Olympic gold. Yeah. Does it matter whether you shared it or not? I don't see what's so good about, saying I'm going to win it on my own. I don't know, Tony. He's thrown it away now. He's got 100%. Oh. Imagine this. They say to you, right, Tony, you've just won. Here's your opportunity to win £100 million on the lottery. Yeah. You're going to share it with that guy over there. Or you have the chance to win £100 million, the exact same amount, and he wins nothing. What are you going to do?
It reminds me of that show Golden Balls. Do you remember that when they split or steal?
But Tony, that's different because it's like if you betray them on that, you get the whole lot. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to get half the amount because you're sharing it.
Do they get half a medal? Do they get half a medal?
No, they get the whole thing. It's just a gold medal.
It does feel a bit tainted though. You're like, I wasn't the best at the time. So maybe that's where he's going. But it bit him in the arse now. Yeah. He could have taken it and he said no. And therefore, in karma, right?
Instant karma, Shelby McEwen. But yeah, it was quite entertaining. So you might see that meme as well, and it's even better that it's actually the gold medalist doing that. But I think my guess is, he hasn't confirmed this that I've seen. My guess is it's his kind of way of saying, look, it's my last jump. We're going to share it, obviously. I'm just going to give up. And actually, it almost certainly was his peace offering, because if he'd have cleared it, it was his anyway. So, he's gone. He's just basically said, look, we're going to share the gold. Here's my peace offering. And then he slapped him in the face, didn't he? Anyway, this is a more inspiring one, Tony, is the bronze medal winner who gave up running. So her name's Georgia Bell. She's a British Olympian, and she won bronze in the 1,500 metre. In 2017, she quit a promising track career because her body was broken. So she said. Oh. But in 2022, in COVID, she started running again with a park run on a cold March day in Bushy Park. And now, at the age of 30, she's an Olympic 1,500 metres medalist. To top it all, she did it while holding down a full-time job. I alluded to this earlier. In cyber security.
She's probably doing all right.
That's the thing. So there's a story. She gave up. She moved to the US to train. She just wasn't getting injured a lot and gave up. But she got back in touch with her coach when she took it up again. Her boyfriend had actually suggested it. And she was like, look, I'm going to crush you. You don't want to go running with me. And she did. She crushed him. Took it up with her boyfriend, started doing well. And yeah, so during COVID, her boyfriend said, shall we go for a run? She replied, you don't want to run with me. I used to be all right. They went for a run and she destroyed him. After that, she started to do some programs. And the funny thing is, because of her day job, being at the Olympics actually cost her money because she had to take unpaid leave. But she was gutted about the cyber attack last month. She said, I'm losing so much commission because I'm not at work. She was getting loads of calls and had to deflect them
she works
to
in
work colleagues.
Sales part, maybe.
Possibly, whatever it is, it must be. But what an inspiring story, Tony. And she did really well. It was a really fast race. I watched that one. And she kept up. She was in fourth spot and she just went past to get a bronze medal.
Wow, she's Olympic medal winner.
At the age of 30. Oh my goodness, Tony, I haven't told you my previous number. So both of these are the age. So McEwen was the US jumper who screwed it up, 28. And 30 years old for Georgia Bell.
Do you reckon she's got enough, 34, to compete again, maybe? Would that be too old, do you reckon, for the next one?
Well, that is a very good question, Tony, because what they've actually said in that article is her coaches have said, well, you feel like it's a little bit too old, 34. Number one, Kelly Holmes, do you remember her? She got double gold at the age of 34. Number two, her body, because she gave up for 5 years, she hasn't got the same wear and tear on the body as rivals. So they reckon, this could just be the beginning for her.
Well, hopefully we'll see her for gold for next Olympics.
For gold, yeah. And then the last one that I want to talk about is this incredible Olympic feud. Are you aware of this?
I'm not aware of this one, Chris.
So this is the men's 1500 meters. So it's between Joshka and Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who's from Norway. So. There's a big feud between the two of them. It's impossible to determine exactly where it began, but during the World Athletics Competition 2022, Ingebrigtsen slighted Kerr's childhood friend and fellow Brit runner Jake Whiteman, describing him as a lesser athlete.
Oh!
It came after Whiteman picked. So what happens is Ingebrigtsen gets hurt every time someone beats him. So Whiteman beat him in the 1500 meter final. In the World Athletics Championship in Oregon, US. And he said he's a lesser athlete. Then, Ingebrigtsen and Kerr himself faced off during the same event in Budapest. In the semi-final, Ingebrigtsen gestures to the crowd to get up in their seats before storming ahead of Kerr to win the heat, a move some branded disrespectful. Yet in the final, just days later, Kerr beat him. Ingebrigtsen then blamed his loss on illness. Trying to sort of make excuses to try to team from the win. So there are a lot of jabs. What actually then happened in the final, the 1500 metre final? Ingebrigtsen and Kerr, everybody's saying, right, one of those two are going to win. Yeah. Ingebrigtsen is leading it. He goes out very fast. He shoves, not shoves, but he moves out from the inside to block off Kerr. So Kerr has to go quite far.
Go around him.
Go out.
Yeah.
And this American guy who's kept up with them just comes on the inside and actually wins it. And in the end, Ingebrigtsen screwed himself over because he came fourth, didn't get a medal. Kerr got the silver. But what I must say is Ingebrigtsen did then win, I think, the 5,000 metres at the weekend. So he did get gold in the end. But yeah, Tony, that was, it's just good to have a bit of a feud in sport, isn't it? In anything, really.
I think it motivates people, isn't it? You go, I really hate that guy. I want to freaking beat him.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Kerr actually came second, but he was smiling a bit. And people were like, well, that's because he didn't get a medal at all.
It's almost see the victory sweeter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they should just sort out like men, just like Olympic Village.
Just get it, Olympic Village. Get no condom on. Oh, no condoms. Yeah, okay, just go. Just go for
skin on skin. Let's really see who's the real man.
Who's a man.
Yeah.
And that is where the Olympics came from, Tony. In the, what was
Let's bring it back to the Greek times when they were like pretty much naked.
Well, that was, I think they were
the
completely
death.
naked. Completely naked.
Right, brilliant. Thank you, Chris. So if we just go through the numbers in numerical order, so it is 7, 11, 15, 21, 28, and 30. So those are the numbers that I shall be buying.
Yeah. So what we would encourage is, Tony, for our listeners to get in touch with any questions you've got about the lottery, because we've had a few piling up. And we're thinking about maybe a new feature of we answer your lottery questions that you've got specifically, as well as any other dilemma. You know, we get people just sending in their dilemmas every week.
Yeah.
But if you've got any specific questions around the lottery, please do get in touch. And you can do so via Instagram, Win Me the Lottery, TikTok, Win Me the Lottery. You can subscribe and comment on our YouTube channel, Win Me the Lottery. And Tony, furthermore, Facebook, Win Me the Lottery, and via email.
It's, the Gmail, so tony.win.lotto@gmail.com.
And Tony, you know, we welcome anybody's. As I say, we're coming back in on Wednesday to the studio just to sit here and go through all of them.
Yeah.
We've got a laptop each, we've got a phone each, we're going everywhere.
The reason why I still use the Gmail is that I can increase the gigabyte space. It's just easier for all, so it can actually hold all the emails that come through.
Some people have questions, said, why are you using Gmail? Why don't you have your own domain? And we've said, well, listen, our domain wouldn't have enough space.
It costs us too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got lottery tickets to buy. You know, it's like, it's not wise.
And we haven't won anything yet, so we need that to move first.
So our enterprise account manager at Google says, you know, this is the largest kind of server that they can give us to hold all the emails. I'm like, fair enough. If that's what you say. Otherwise, you get better on your game because OpenAI are kind of getting in touch.
They are.
They might have bigger spaces using AI or something.
But in any case, as we said, we've hooked up our AI to respond in our tone of voice.
Yeah, I mean, don't think, Olympics is over.
Well, the football's back. The Premier League's back.
The real sport's starting.
Yeah,
the real sport.
The real stuff. Before it starts, who's going to win the league this season?
It's going to be Arsenal.
Arsenal.
100%. We're doing silver, now we're doing gold.
I'm going to say Arsenal. I think Arsenal. Yeah, I think it's your year this year.
Yeah. I think, I want to experience the drama. So I kind of want Arsenal to have a bit of a challenge. But I think, I reckon Man City will beat them home and away.
Yeah.
3-0 plus each game.
That's bold. How much you want to put on that one, mate?
Well, that's a good question. I'll get back to you on that. So I reckon that brings us to the end. I mean, wow. I mean, such great, interesting Olympic stories there, Chris. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm excited to the next one. So I've got to wait 4 more years. But luckily, we've got,
We've got things to tide us over.
Yeah.
We've got the Premier League, we've got the World Cup in 2 years' time.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the replay. I didn't see all the table tennis. I really want to watch the table tennis about it.
Tony, should we just watch the hockey, the field hockey World Cup or whatever it is? I bet that's going to be on in a couple of years.
You know what? I might just look at a local team, just see, hey, is there a hockey team around there? I could just give it back in.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go local. I would just go straight to the England, the Great Britain or England team and just say, look, I'm here, I'm ready.
And you know what? What I will do is that when it comes to penalties, I'm actually going to go in and not kind of sky it. I'm actually going to try and place it.
Yeah. They could learn a thing or two from it. Maybe, hey, because you're getting on a bit, just be their coach.
Could do.
Just offer your services as a coach.
I go like, we need to get the ball into the net. So ball into net.
Is there a video game for field hockey? So we could kind of just get you back in shape that way.
Is it? You've got championship manager. Is there like a hockey manager? Hockey championship manager?
Funnily enough, I'm not sure it's
They should make that. Get lottery funding for that, and we've got a game. Great. So that brings us to the end.
That's it.
Of Win Me the Lottery. So we'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.